Hi everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning in to our brand new YouTube channel. My name is Francisco Asís Liconafletes, but you guys can call me Cisco just to keep it short and simple. Before I begin, okay, I would like to share a couple of things. Number one, this video is going to be about 15 minutes long, more or less. So I ask that you guys at least block off about 20 minutes of your time so I can have your full undivided attention. Number two, my energy can be a little sporadic sometimes. I can do crazy facial expressions. My hand motions might be a little crazy. Just know that's who I am. I'm a high energy person. I'm an Aries. So don't be overwhelmed. Don't think I'm crazy or weird. Just know that that's who I am. And I ask that you acknowledge, respect, and embrace me for who I am, because I will do the same with you. And number three, as you guys watch these videos, I ask that you guys watch them with an open mind and ultimately with an open heart, right? Because there are so many variables within this. And yeah, I would like you guys to fully just be open to the possibilities of this actually happening, because it will. So the intention behind this platform, Agape Manifest, this YouTube channel, right, is to connect with you guys, whether you're in China, Brazil, Honduras, Mexico, US, Europe, Africa, no matter what part of the world you're in, you are the collective masses. If you're watching this right now, you are literally an extension of creation. You are a human being born on planet Earth, and I'm seeking to connect with all of you, as much as or at least with as many of you as I can, right? Why do I want to connect with all of you? Is pretty much because I want to share streams of consciousness so we can bring to fruition a new collective conscious reality, right? So because we're all kind of divided as nations, as religions, as this, as that throughout the world, we're not operating at our highest and best selves as a collective masses. Some of us are experiencing poverty in different parts of the world, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, or financial poverty, and we no longer need to be experiencing poverty in any which way whatsoever, because we have an abundance of resources, we have an abundance of money, we have an abundance of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. The thing is, though, we're not sharing it fully with one another, and that's part of why I'm creating this platform, so we can actually share who we are in full transparency and what we're about, okay? And through sharing who we are and through giving each other knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, we will slowly move towards alignment. And once we're aligned, once we harmonize with one another, once we're all on the same level of consciousness, we will be able to pretty much move from this foundation of love, of consciousness, of understanding, and be able to create on top of this foundation whatever it is we'd like. And whatever it is that we bring to fruition will always stand, right? Because we have a strong foundation. So before, I might say a lot. That's just me developing my verbal skills. Sorry in advance. So, stream of consciousness number one that I would like to share with you today. There's 3 parts, okay? 1, we are all active, conscious or unconscious co-creators, co-sustainers, and co-destroyers of our collective reality. What does that mean? So if you were to look outside right now, everything, literally everything besides this planet and like nature, we've all partaken in manifesting, bringing to fruition. So that means everything from cars to roads to houses and buildings to clothing to our phones, right, to these laptops, to jewelry, to everything that you see that's physically manifest, we've all partaken in bringing to fruition. So that means that it took a handful of us, right, a group of people, to have this vision, share it with others, and then acquire all the resources that were needed, whether it was, construction workers for that road, or engineers and, developers for the apps in this phone, or whatever it is, right? It took a group of people, collective group of people, to bring it to fruition. So we as creation always serve each other, whatever it is that we'd like as a collective masses, right? So that's stream of consciousness number 1, part 1. Part 2 is that we're all conscious co-sustainers or unconscious co-sustainers of our collective reality. Some of us, have this idea that, oh my goodness, like we live in modern day slavery because we're all work and we have this 9 to 5 and this and that. Well, honestly, guys, that kind of mentality isn't really going to get us anywhere, right? But we have to have a conscious understanding of who we are and where we're at. So we're all actually not slaves to a system. We are always co-sustaining a system. We are the co-sustainers of our collective reality. What does that mean? Let me give you an example. So when it comes to like a grocery store, right? Let's just choose a grocery store for now. A grocery store is brought to fruition by one or two individuals, right, or a few individuals that have a vision for a grocery store. They want to feed the people in their community, right, and they want to make money or whatever the intentions are at that point in time. That's what they choose to do. They want to manifest a grocery store, so they share the idea with a few people. They acquire all the resources that they need, right, and then through the construction workers and everybody else that they've met, right, they physically manifest a building, a grocery store. And beyond that grocery store, then once they built that grocery store, they start to, get the vendors in there. So, they can supply them with all the produce that they need. And then they start to hire employees, right? Managers, cashiers, people that do what are they called? Stockers, people that stock the shelves and things like that. And all these people are part of working in that grocery store to make sure it operates right. Beyond that, though, guys, this is really important, okay? The people in charge of actually sustaining that grocery store, right? The powers that be, you'll hear this in different parts of life, like you'll even hear this in government. The powers that be don't want you to succeed. The powers that be don't want us to, be happy or whatever. That's kind of a lie, guys, because I've experienced the powers that be, and the powers that be are you. Facts. Okay, so let me tell you why you are the greater power. It's because you as the collective masses are literally in charge of managing creation. That's what we do. We don't own creation, we just manage it. That's what we do as human beings. So let me share with you how we do this. In this grocery store, right, once it's manifested, once everything's on the shelves, once there's employees and everything, then they open the doors for the first time. What do you do as an individual if you're a part of that community? You go and shop at the grocery store, right? You and everybody else in that community goes and shops, runs around, gathers their things, throw your stuff in a little basket, right? You go to the cash register, and what do? You exchange energy. You've acquired energy through food, right, and all these other products, and you give them money. You give the grocery store money. Now that energy exchange is happening with you and hundreds of people, if not thousands of people throughout the week. And through that energy exchange, you're sustaining that grocery store, right? So we're kind of blind to this, right? Depending on our level of consciousness and awareness, we're blind to the fact that we are the ones literally sustaining everything we see around us, whether it's a grocery store, a restaurant, a bar, a car company, a clothing line. We're literally the ones consciously or unconsciously sustaining these systems, these platforms, whether they serve us to our highest and best selves or not. So that's part 2, right? We're the ones that are sustaining things. Part 3 is we're all conscious or unconscious destroyers of our collective reality. Now this happens micro scale and macro scale, just like the creation and sustaining part, which means that micro scale, us as individuals, we're running around, right, creating relationships with one another, and we're sustaining them, right? We're giving each other love, we're inviting each other out to parties and different experiences and whatnot. And at the same time, as some of us are doing that stuff, some of us are out there with our negative habits, right, that we have, our misalignments. We're out there destroying family relationships, friendships, community relationships, relationships with our intimate partners, because maybe we're coming from a state of or like a place of ego or ignorance or bigotry or pride or selfishness. All these different things, we're coming from these low vibrational negative states of being. So we reap what we sow, right? So it may not be our intention to destroy these relationships with our loved ones, but we're doing that. We're constantly destroying things. And then some of us, because we're on a higher plane, right, as far as leadership and power and influence goes, some of us are doing this shit like macro scale. So some of us are literally out there still being selfish, so coming from pride and ego and ignorance and all this stuff, and misalignments. We're out there creating war with one another, destroying entire ecosystems like the rainforest that you've heard about recently in South America and in Brazil and stuff. And it's not just in that part of the world; it happens all over the world, right? We go into different parts of the world, and literally, especially the United States, we're like the bully on the block. We go and acquire land and resources from people, and if they don't, want to, I guess, share, what do? We take. And we take by creating all these false flags and lying to each other and just deceiving each other. And we say one thing while we're doing another, right? And that really should not exist anymore, guys. Really, it should not exist. It should not exist, and hopefully it won't exist in the future because we're all conscious. Most of us are evolving and learning to transcend all these selfish ways of thinking, right? Ways of operating. So yeah, those are the three, I guess the three things I want to share with you today, right? Three extensions of who we are as a people. I'm this exists within me, exists within you, and this exists within everybody else. These three extensions, right? And I'm going to be sharing more extensions of who we are as a people. So we're all conscious or unconscious co-creators, co-sustainers, or co-destroyers of our collective reality. And it's up to us, right, as we're experiencing things, to manage our reality, like to observe and be like, okay, like what is this, what is that? And be like, okay, this is serving us to our highest and best self, right? This grocery store is giving us nutrient-dense food that's healthy for us. So we should keep giving this grocery store energy, right? Because it's taking care of us. Its intention isn't just to make money off of us. Its intention is to provide us with quality food, quality over quantity. Now, there's other manifestations that we bring to fruition, like let's just keep using grocery stores, for example, right? Like a Walmart. I'm sorry, Walmart, you're on my video today, I'm just going to speak facts. There's stores like Walmart, for example, that maybe their intention is to feed their communities, but they're not doing it in a very conscious manner. I don't know if the intention is to feed the communities or just make money off the communities through food and products and services or whatnot, but they're not operating on a conscious manner. So, like, for example, I moved to San Diego 6 years ago, right? And I grew up, like, my mom went to, like, Northgate Market, or every once in a while she'd go to Walmart, Northgate Market, all my Hispanics out there, y'all know what it is, all know it's good. But then when I moved to San Diego, there was no Northgate around, right? So I started shopping on, like, Sprouts, because it was just down the street from my place. So I started shopping at Sprouts, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. I shopped at People's Farmers Market at Ocean Beach, at all the farmers markets that were all over town, right? And all these places that I was shopping at had really, really good food, really healthy food. So the people that I would experience there were, one, very slim, like not 100% slim, right? Like but in general were slim, right? They had high positive energy, high vibes to them, right? And they just looked healthy. They just looked healthy because they were eating healthy, nutrient-dense food. Now, I got back to the city of Covina in May, and one of the first things I did, right, I just went walking around the neighborhoods, and I was passing by the local Walmart, and I was thirsty, and I was like, shoot, this is the only place that's around right now, so I go into Walmart, and dude, it blew my mind. It literally blew my mind that like 60 to 70% of the people, I kid you not, minimum, were overweight. These people were overweight, and they were just walking around, like, just doing their normal shopping now. Like, damn, like, I don't remember people being this overweight at Walmart. Well, then I actually remember that Walmart, when I was growing up as a kid, was getting built. And then as I kept growing up, people actually started shopping because it was actually established now. And people were starting to sustain it, right? And as people were sustaining it, like, you don't get overweight overnight, you don't become unhealthy overnight. It's a process, it's a long-term thing, right? So I had been gone for 6 years, so I had literally, evolved and grown and, like, just leveled up, and moved out of my community. But when I got back, I experienced, like, I was high vibrational. I experienced literally immediately low vibrations just by moving back to my community and seeing the manifestations that we were sustaining. So these people, once again, were overweight. A lot of them have really pale skin, have bags under their eyes. People look older than what they are. You know what I'm saying? And just being in that Walmart, like, the lights look dim, the energy in there just feels really dense. And I realized that it was not at all the same experience I was having back in San Diego. And even, like, here in different parts of LA, when you go shop at Erewhon or you go shop at Sprouts, you don't see many overweight people. You'll see very few, if any, right? And it's just because of the level of consciousness we're at when it comes to sustaining certain things. So yeah, I just want to leave you guys with that. Like, with manifestations like that are no longer serving us, right? That we're aware that aren't serving us, we should eradicate, we should destroy or get rid of completely in a conscious manner, not just go freaking run to Walmart and, like, light it up and just fire everywhere. No, we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be destroying things, right? Just like we shouldn't go and, like, run at, like, the White House and, like, loot the White House or, like, destroy it and, like, create all these riots. No, we should approach things that we no longer feel like are serving us or that we no longer need in a conscious manner. And how do we approach things in a conscious manner? Well, first of all, we have to raise our level of understanding, right? We have to raise our level of knowledge and wisdom, and we have to start to become active co-creators of our collective reality, because, like, everything you see around you, once again, we've all co-created. So if you want to see something else that's different, right, take active participation in bringing that new reality to fruition. And that's what I'm hoping to do with you guys, okay? So just take time to meditate on these 3 things, and I will be talking to you guys soon, okay? Blessings, blessings, blessings. So yeah, I'll just leave you guys with that. I guess people end their videos with, like, click the link in my bio or this or that. This is my first video, so all I'm gonna ask, right, is that you comment, that you like, but most importantly that you guys share this video with everybody that you can on any social media platform that you have. And if you guys would like to follow me on my personal page and kind of get to know me for who I am as an individual, I have an Instagram. It's Flow with Cisco. That's my username. And yeah, it's FLOWWITHCISCO. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for you guys right now. Those are really, really, really important extensions of who we are that we need to learn to master as a collective, okay? So thank you guys once again for just devoting the past 18 minutes and 30-something seconds. Enjoy the rest of your day.